In the third Treasure Island film for Disney, a young man goes on an adventure through the stars to find treasure.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with
Michelle,
Andre,
Louise.
and me, Emily. We're a family-friendly podcast where we pick a new Disney movie each week. We watch it, share our thoughts, and then relate it to pop culture, fandoms, and anything else that pops into our heads. Enjoy!
hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 82.
hello everybody.
82. Oh my god, this is Emily, not a womp-womp. I don't know what a womp-womp is,
What's
but
a womp womp?
I don't know. A weird animal that's stuck in a womp-womp. I don't know. My voice sounds nasty, everyone. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, Emily's just a little sick.
Only a wee bit.
Only a wee bit.
Only a wee bit.
See, she can still do a Scottish accent. So
Only a wee bit.
not that sick.
Cue the Irish space music. That's literally what I wrote in my notes.
Oh.
Cue the Irish space
Yeah, they
music.
definitely had some Gaelic influences in this week. We're talking about 2002's 2D/3D animated film Treasure Planet.
Did you say 2D/3D?
I did. I did. say
Okay. Why is it
Because
2D/3D?
Billy
that.
Bones.
The animation.
Billy Bones. Oh my god.
Billy Bones.
I'm just so ready.
Dude, Billy Bones was like gross looking at first when he came
Man.
out. of the
Yeah,
movie.
he is.
He was like.
So this week we are talking about Treasure Planet, the movie that is
Often associated with Atlantis. Like those two movies
Just-
together.
We've only confused
Confused
them
for
every
Atlantis.
single time we've talked about them.
You know why? Because they were probably the best movies from that early 2000s era. That those are the two people are like, you know that one, Atlantis, the Treasure Planet? Yeah, we
the
know
water
both.
one or the space one?
Exactly.
The water
And-
one or the
and
space
it's
one.
confusing because the space one is based on a book about water. So
What
and it's very water themed, but there's no water in the
is
movie.
that book actually called? Treasure Island?
Treasure
Island.
Island. Yes.
Like
Well-
Muppets Treasure Island too. Okay, we got a lot of those Treasure Island
Let's
themed
talk
ones.
about that for half a second.
This is Disney's third Treasure Island film.
We're literally
Third.
watching this movie, and I look at Luis, and I'm like, "Hold on, is this Treasure Island?" Like it took me like past the opening scene, but then like I'm like, "Oh, this is Treasure Island." He's like, "Well, duh, Emily, you
Yeah.
should have known by the name." Excuse me, Treasure Planet doesn't mean it's gonna be Treasure Island.
Well, I've never seen Treasure Island.
You watched Muppets Treasure Island. We
watched
did
Muppet
it as
Treasure
an.
Island.
I mean, Muppet Treasure Island. We did it as a.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
Nuh-uh.
Straight up, we did.
Dang, I don't
I'm
remember
gonna
that.
find out what episode it was.
You
I
know
don't-
what?
I
remember
legit
it
do not remember
because
that.
I was the one who suggested it because it was from my childhood. I knew every single song. You don't remember that?
Are
It
you
wasn't even that long ago. It
sure?
was episode 41. It was exactly
Literally
That was a
half
year ago.
half the amount of episodes ago.
You know, a lot of things have happened since then.
And it was good. I mean,
I
it
do-
was-
I
it was
honestly-
Muppets good,
I
but,
honest to God don't remember.
Wow.
well,
She missed that whole movie.
I thought we did
And she
Muppet
didn't-
Christmas Carol.
And she didn't see
and we
any.
didn't do Muppet Christmas
we have
Carol.
not done Muppet Christmas
We
Carol.
did not.
Whoa.
Girl, you are on one.
I think we've had this podcast too long.
We haven't done and there's many Christmas Carol movies too. We haven't done a single one of those.
No, we did not do Muppet Christmas Carol. We did the
Oh.
Clausy Claus
Santa
Santa
Claus.
Claus. That's right.
with an E.
Ooh, fun fact. This movie premiered at basically the same time as the Santa Claus 2.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
A Disney movie versus Disney movie.
That's so
Why do they
weird.
do that to themselves?
You know, sometimes Disney does that though, like where they have like two movies come out within the span of a month.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if it's because like one was live action and holiday themed, and one was just like a normal.
Yeah, and like
They were like, we
more
can throw that
adventure-y.
sequel out. It's fine.
Yeah.
There's
You
a
know
whole
what I mean?
conspiracy theory about Disney not wanting this movie to succeed.
What? Ooh, I can't wait to hear it because.
Anyways,
let's
That
yeah.
use
a
the
little
first
later.
impressions. 'cause
Yeah,
that
first
makes me
impression,
happy.
Andre, of this version of the Treasure Planet.
Island, Treasure Planet. Another fun fact: this movie's original title was Treasure Island in Space.
Oh, I'm happy it's Treasure Planet.
Wow, I would literally knock my head against the wall if that was the name.
That sounds
I don't
stupid.
want to go see that. No.
We're gonna go watch Tis.
Treasure Island in Space.
Tis.
First impression: I like this movie a lot. This movie's very fun.
Have you ever seen this movie before?
I have seen it before. I remember watching it as a young boy and thinking,
As a young
boy and thinking that it was cool. Like I remember Jim being on like the space sail or whatever, sky sail. I don't know what the thing's called. And
The crow's nest in the sky.
yeah, and I
In the
remember
double sky.
I remember liking Long John Silver's robo parts,
His cyborg.
his cyborg.
Yeah, he's a cyborg. Yeah, Andre got real excited when he came out.
Oh, because I was like, I need that arm for cooking.
Also,
Oh my
Andre
God.
really wants to be a cyborg a lot of the
Yes.
time, so
1,000,000%. I'll take the eye. I'll take the arm. I'll take 2 legs if you got them. Give me
a back. He needs a new back.
Ooh, yeah, give me a new back. I'll take a new chest. This one kind of pops every once in a while.
Literally
I
before
need a
we
new
started
butt.
recording.
He's gonna
he
be
was-
that thing from Star Wars that's basically all cyborg besides the heart. What's that thing called?
General Grievous.
Yeah, General.
With the
Grievous.
cough. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay.
pretty
The,
much
the
me
point
today.
is that you liked it.
Oh yes. The movie good. Yes, I like.
Okay.
show.
My first impression was I really liked this movie. I was hooked as soon as it started. As soon as it started, I was hooked. It was good. I didn't go into it with high expectations because I kind of barely remembered it. I think I maybe watched it like once or twice as a kid. My kids will be watching this movie. This movie was legit. I loved it. Emily.
Well, I will tell mine and Luis's first impression because if you guys remember this time last year, it is officially soccer season. So Luis is watching the movie.
Oh, yes, he's gone.
But not particularly like being super involved in the recording. But he sends his regards.
He's here in spirit.
Yeah.
He's in tryouts.
Yeah, he's trying out his, kids.
His team.
Anywho, we both had never seen this movie. Never.
You've never seen it?
Never seen this movie.
Oh.
See, that's why I didn't know that it was Treasure Island.
You're like, why is it called Treasure
because I
Planet?
literally heard the name Billy Bones and I was like, oh my god,
Oh.
Billy Bones, right? I was
That's
super
funny.
excited. Anywho, because I love Treasure Island. Oh god. Anywho, I loved it. Like,
Yeah, same.
I get that there's issues, but guess what? Don't even care.
I don't care
Don't
either.
even care. And usually,
What
I'm
issues?
Yeah, I'm usually all about the issues.
I
like
have a
talking
few
about 'em.
issues, but
Eh.
we'll get.
Oh yeah, no, there's issues to be talked about, but like, do I care? Not really.
Right.
I-
The good
I would
outweighs
go-
the bad in this movie.
I would
for
watch
sure.
this movie again right now. Like,
Yeah.
I was hooked.
Just so you know, your flash drive is still in my Xbox right there.
Oh,
We can
cool.
just turn the TV on.
You
want
want to know when I was hooked? As soon as the little boy, when he was a little boy and he was reading his book underneath the covers with the flashlight,
His hollow
sold.
book. He
Sold.
didn't need a flashlight because it was shining lights at him.
Oh, that's right.
I liked it before. Well, yeah, I liked it when the mom came in. There was like
The
a
mom,
great
she was
mom,
so
Mom was
cute.
great.
like good parenting. Anywho,
Let's talk
okay.
about the cast first, Andre, because as soon as this was going, I started recognizing voices, and as we were watching the movie,
for sure.
I was asking Andre, like, who's the voice of that? I know who it is. So this got a grade A cast. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, we got.
We got to introduce our characters in this cast.
Young Jim Hawkins himself is played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
one of my
Yes, the best.
JGL Jiggle.
Don't call it jiggle.
He's.
Because I watched a movie where he was like a gigolo. No, he wasn't a gigolo.
Oh
I don't know.
yeah, I think I watched that movie.
Did we
This
talk
was
about
kid
it?
Where he
JGL.
dated like Scarlett Johansson.
I don't know. I literally watched like 4 minutes of it and I couldn't get.
And
I
he
mean, it was a
He was
lot.
addicted to stuff we're not allowed to talk
Yes.
about on this podcast. Yeah.
Oh my
Also,
God.
every time
Jiggle.
he was talking as Jim Hawkins, I kept thinking of that Hercules song in my head. I am on my way.
for sure.
I can go the
I was expecting.
distance.
Right.
I was waiting for him to bust out when he's like on his little like speeders, like in song.
But I'm
he
kinda
didn't,
happy
but
he didn't sing. Though.
Yeah, this
I'm
movie
happy
is
about
not
that.
a musical.
no, he just got that dumb music medley. We'll talk about that later. Yes, the medley. I mean, it wasn't a medley; it was one song. But instead of them singing, there was that montage of that like early 2000s song.
Oof.
Okay, first
We'll
off,
get there.
I loved the singer of the Goo Goo Dolls. I knew who it was exactly. So
Whoa,
I reached out on
Emily
the
knew who
back.
it was.
It's Resnick.
Resnick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard his voice and was like, "Oh, I've heard." this
Emily
song
probably
before.
cried during that song because it was like a father-son moment.
Okay, first off, definitely didn't cry,
She did.
Ooh,
but because I
Anyways.
was rocking out to the song.
I'm still here.
I'm still here.
Okay, let's move on. We have
Is that
we
how
got
it went?
we got JGL.
I'm
yeah.
Who else we got?
here.
Who's the
Jiggle.
mom? His mom is played by no other
Is
than
played by Laurie Metcalf.
who is Andy's mom
Yes, exactly.
in Toy
a
Story.
familiar mom voice.
I thought you said
Yeah.
Bambi's mom.
What? She was dead.
Stacy's mom has got it
Oh, no,
going
Bambi's
on.
mom is dead.
Oh, I thought you said Stacy's mom.
Bambi.
This is
Bambi's
all-
mom is
Anyways, as soon
not
as she
have it
started
going on.
talking, I kept telling Andre, I know that voice. I know that voice. Turns out it was Andy's mom.
Yes.
I don't know her name, but I knew the voice.
Billy Bones was
Billy
played
Bones.
by Patrick McGowan, who I think played like an old-timey pirate in something old.
Who was the one from Frasier?
Oh, yes. No, not Ben. It was Dr. Doppler. Was
Yes.
I like
played
him.
by, where is he? David Hyde Pierce from Frasier. He was also in A Bug's Life. He was
Yeah.
Slim.
Yeah.
Yeah, Slim on Bugs Life.
They offered this role to him while he was on A Bug's Life.
That makes sense.
And he was like, ooh, I like this.
I liked it too. And then the girl was
Oh, Captain Amelia was played by Emma Thompson.
For sure.
There's
Emma
a good
Thompson
cast
can
going
play
on.
anything
She said
wants.
that she was pregnant while she was recording this, and it felt cool to be an action star without having to like train. And stuff.
That's
To do
hilarious. I
anything
love
like
that.
I loved
like
her
that a
character.
lot.
Anyways, it has a good cast. The characters are all very, very good. Like, I enjoyed them all. So let's
So
just
hold on,
get into this.
But before we go like into every character, I think that it's not necessary that we talk about every single character because
Oh, no,
when
it's
we
not.
did like this is a pretty much like transcript from the original book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't really
Treasure
need to go
Island.
through the plot
And
exactly.
Since we already did Muppet Treasure Island, I'm giving Michelle a face because she doesn't
We
remember.
already know the
I
plot.
don't remember,
We know the plot and we know the characters.
but I liked that robot.
But I do want to go into like the differences and how they like they spaced it. I guess like how
spaced
did
it.
they space plus?
Well, they
it?
just like spiced it up. So yeah, he was reading the story in a book, but like Andre said, it was like a holographic book. That was cool.
So
He's like a little hooligan. You know, he's getting in trouble for racing his speeder thing. What is that even called?
I wish you guys could see her foot when she did that.
He built it himself, which is cool.
Yeah. I called it a sky sail in
A
my
sky
notes.
sail.
There was
Sky
a name
speeder,
for it, but now I
something
can't
like
remember
that.
What it was
Yeah.
called.
It was some kind of speeder.
Solar surfing.
Solar
surfer.
surfing. Dope.
Yeah.
Luis said that it was the exact same opening as like. Now I can't remember what movie he said, but like going over an area he wasn't supposed to go over, and he was surfing and something. I don't know.
He was
Johnny
being a
Tsunami?
little
I don't-
rebel.
I don't
Johnny
think- I don't think that's
Tsunami.
it.
I liked that movie.
Me too.
I'm sure he was surfing over a power plant. Okay.
He might have been.
No, but in terms of the aesthetics of the movie, they had like a hard, fast rule in production that it was going to be 70-30. So 70 Treasure Island and 30 space stuff, sci-fi stuff.
like
I can
that.
agree with that.
Yeah, so they kept it mostly like they're totally in the future, but they're wearing like old Victorian clothes.
I
and
dig
stuff like
that.
Well, and even her, Captain Amelia, as soon as she came out, I was like, babe, I don't understand why she has a British accent. Like, she's from space.
Okay, hold on.
But
we need to talk about that. So, okay, this is really. I'm sorry. This happens in almost every Disney movie, and I haven't said it yet, but it drives me insane. I do not like how Disney gives zero cares about the fact that one character has a British accent and everybody else sounds American.
well, that's what she was wearing, the more Victorian clothes, and that's why I brought it up. Were they supposed to make her like
No, but
old
it's
America?
Any
Sure.
movie. It's any
Yeah,
like
okay.
stop.
Yeah.
It's any Disney movie.
In other movies, I completely agree with you. In this one, I'm gonna give it a pass because
they're at a spaceport?
Yes, they're all from different planets.
She's like Space
She's
Columbia.
Like a cat. She's like a cat.
She's like
lady.
Christopher Columbus. She came and she's got her space,
Christopher Catlumbus.
her space sailboat or ship, and she wears that same kind of
I'll let it
outfit with the
pass here.
hat.
I'll let it pass here. But literally, I watched this and then two other Disney movies that I hadn't seen it back to back, and every one of them, the next one that I watched was all British people, and then the guy who plays God all the time, help me, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Playing Morgan Freeman. Not, well, he wasn't playing himself, but like American Morgan
But
Freeman.
yeah, with his
Like,
regular
why?
voice.
Why?
You know.
No.
You know.
No.
But doesn't the
You're trying to come
actor?
up with a good reason that you can't come up
But
with.
doesn't the actress who plays Captain Amelia, isn't she British?
Yeah, Emma
Angela.
Thompson.
Yeah, so it's fine.
She was the one who played
I mean, they were really playing up
Travers.
her
Yeah.
her dialect and like all of the fancy language words and stuff she was using.
Fancy
like
Fancy language words.
I love it.
they were really playing that up
Pish
with her.
posh.
But yes, I agree with you. Like, I think the coolest thing and the thing that I couldn't quite wrap my head around at first, but I accepted it, was the fact that their spaceships were not spaceships. Like, they were just straight up ships. So that's where they
Mhm.
like kept the.
They were like ships with thrusters.
That's where they
Yeah.
kept the treasure island a lot. And even when they're like saying something about a space whale, I was like, that's a space whale. Like, okay, so
Yeah.
they're really acting almost like space is a ocean, which
Right.
took me a couple minutes to like wrap my head around. But then I
Well,
got
like,
on board with it.
I guess for like them, because they're on planets that don't have water,
Yeah.
that is their water. Even though they're not calling it water.
Well, they
It's
still
Yeah.
had to
not.
do the anti-gravity device, and then when
Yeah.
the star exploded, they were like gonna ride the wave, which I was kind of confused about. So
Yeah.
there
That was
there
like
were
an
some little
explosion
scientifical stretches there going on.
Stretches.
Scientifical
Yeah. So
stretches.
I was like not about it at first when I was
Yeah.
first watching the movie when I was falling asleep the first time. Because like I was like, what? They're just like riding around in the empty coldness of space in a
Also,
pirate
I guess
ship?
they
That's-
can all breathe that non-existent air. It's
Yes. So I read afterwards that what they're in is a particular part of space called the Ethereum. Like they have this Ethereum within space, and it's basically space with an atmosphere.
Oh, they definitely did say that in the intro, something about
Right.
Ethereum.
So that's why creatures can fly through it, and that's why they can breathe the air
Okay.
while they're sailing through
All
space.
right, I'll go with it
Yeah,
because
so I'm cool with that.
you're
I
right.
just missed it the first time.
the narrator at the beginning did give this like intro about the Ethereum and the blah blah blah, the treasure planet.
Yeah.
Boo boo.
Boo
I don't know. I
boo.
wasn't exactly paying attention.
You want to know what the problem here was? Is that the version we watched didn't have any subtitles, and when you live in a house with a toddler and a Luis and a
Oh.
baby, everybody was talking and
You
making
miss
noise.
it,
And
yeah.
I was trying to pay attention because I was like, well, if we're in space, this is going to be important. And
Mhm.
we watched it like 3 times, and I still missed
The
half
intro?
of that. Yeah,
Get
the
it?
intro. Like she
Yikes.
was talking, and I was like, space pirates. He escaped, but that's literally all I
Beware
got.
the cyborg.
Yeah.
He's
Captain
in-
Flint.
Captain Flint.
Captain Flint.
Pew pew pew.
Pew pew pew.
You know, that kind of stuff. That's probably real important. But
Billy Bone.
once I accepted that, then I was fine. Like I
Right.
was fine with everything after that.
It was okay.
The whole like star explosion scene, I didn't really necessarily need that. Like I get why it was necessary, but okay.
At the end?
No, like in the middle when they were on their journey.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, you know, if the Ethereum's there,
Yes.
so when stuff blows
All right,
up,
so
it blows through the wind.
yes, I have a comment, more like a side note, more like a story, which I think is absolutely hilarious.
Oh, man, a comment, side note
Um,
story.
So Andre and I have both seen this movie, but like we said, maybe only once.
Yes.
But when one particular character came on the screen, we both vividly remembered it, which is so weird because it's not even a main character.
No.
But if we're thinking about the crew, so they're on this ship, the cyborg's in the kitchen,
Long
and
John Silver.
Long John Silver was his real name.
I mean, what do you mean?
That's his name?
That's his name.
Yeah, they don't call him Long John. They just call him Silver, right?
Yeah. And this,
So
this-
still,
they just
Mr.
call him
Silver's
Silver.
in the kitchen, and the rest of the crew is his
His
minions, his pirate posse, you know,
henchmen.
henchmen. There we go. That was a good word. So I don't really remember any of the henchmen except for one particular one, that crab-looking spider thing. And as soon as that thing came on screen, what's its name?
I think his name is Scroop.
Scroop? No.
Scroop.
Scroop?
Hang on. Yes. SCR.
Okay, well, as
OOP.
soon as Scroop came on the screen,
Scroop.
I immediately said, Audrey, I know what that thing is. We have a toy of it at my job.
Yeah.
So when this movie came out, they had those McDonald's toys of like the different crew members from the ship. And that toy, years and years later, we're in the year 2019 now, is at my job. I work with children, and the kids always play with it. And I always see it and like couldn't put together where it was from.
Right.
So as soon as we rewatched this movie, I did a squeal. I was like, that's where it's from. I know that thing now, and now I know what it is.
It's Scroop.
Well, Scroop sucks. First of all, he's
yeah,
evil.
Scroop is a bad guy.
Straight up bad. But anyways, funny side note, I don't know if anybody else has that McDonald's toy, but
Oh, I bet they did, because they did the McDonald's like marketing campaign like months before the movie was coming
oh, they
out.
used to do that all the time,
Mhm.
where you would get the McDonald's toys like way before the movie even comes out.
Yeah, man.
And so then when you would go to the movie people would have their toys and they already know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of weird. I don't think
go.
McDonald's does that anymore. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, side note about marketing. So for this movie, this is another part of the conspiracy.
Oh wow!
So,
yeah, I want to hear about that.
The trailers that came out for this, like I think the first trailer, it didn't really tell you anything about the movie. It was basically just Jim on his sky surfer thing, and he's flying through, and then the trailer ends. It says Treasure Planet, and that's it.
It's like, oh, okay.
It's like, okay, interesting, cool graphics, but I don't know what the movie's about. And then the next trailer that came out was a full spoiler trailer. It was like,
oh, really?
It was like, join Jim and Morph and Ben, character you don't meet until an hour in, as they fight against the evil Long John Silver. And I was like, dude, that's a spoiler.
And now we know exactly what. But the thing is, the whole movie's a spoiler anyways because everybody knows the story, right?
Well, not little kids who are watching this trailer on Disney Channel.
But maybe that made parents want to take their kids like, oh, look, a new retelling of Treasure Island.
Sure, but there's
that.
a way that they could have done it without straight up being like, hey,
Oh, yeah,
look,
it sounds-
this is who the villain is.
Well, when do they ever do that? When do they ever like this is the villain?
Right? It was weird. I watched the trailer earlier. It was like, oh, yikes.
Huh. Well, do you want to get into the?
Oh,
do you
yes.
want to get into
So-
the thing first, then? Like, explain
Sure.
that so we can talk about it.
So this movie has been in production since right after The Black Cauldron, the movie we just did. It hasn't been in production that long, but the
Like,
idea
it's been an idea.
but the idea has been there that long.
That was in the 70s, right?
that was in the 80s.
Black Cauldron was 80s.
Yes. So
See, I already forgot about that movie because it sucked butt.
So Ron Clements and John Musker, the directors, thank you. They really wanted to do Treasure Island set in space. That's what they really wanted to put their animation.
And I'm not gonna lie, that's a
franchise
great
for.
idea. I ship it.
Yes, ship it. I do too. So they pitched this idea in the 80s, in like 87 or something like that, right after Black Cauldron, and but Black Cauldron had like tanked Disney, if you remember. So they were like, I believe it was Will Eisner at the time. He said, "Hard no, you get to do The Little Mermaid," and so they did Little Mermaid, smash hit, bada bing, bada boom.
Great, I'm so happy.
Yes.
We'll talk about The Little Mermaid live later and how much it sucked.
Oh, maybe we'll do that for the crack. So then they, after that, they were like, hey, can we do Treasure Planet or Treasure Island in space? And they were still like, nah, do Aladdin. And then they were like, nah, do Hercules. And after Hercules, they renegotiated their contract. And
Interesting.
Do
So-
tis.
So I have a
Yes.
comment to make right off the bat from now.
Mhm.
Can you imagine if it had come out at that time? It could have been super popular
Yeah,
because that was a great time for Disney animation.
correct.
And I'm not gonna lie, this movie was great. If it had come out at that time, who knows? Jim Hawkins might have been like walking around Disneyland.
For sure.
True.
No, I agree.
But, it's also possible that it might not have been quite as good just because of the technology at the time. We'll get to technology.
Oh, I
later.
guess that's true. Like, they wouldn't have had the 3D version or
Yes.
the elements.
Yeah. But, I mean, they still definitely could have made a super cool movie back then, back in 89 or whatever.
But the 2D elements were cool in this movie.
Yes, absolutely. I like the 2D elements. The 3D I had a little bit more of a problem with.
Right.
But I
But
think that at the time that it came out, it looked fantastic.
That's what I was
For
telling
that time
Luis.
period, the 3D animation was weird. Like, but it looked good then, right?
That's what I was telling Luis.
Yeah.
I think that, like, even though it doesn't hold up to our standards at all, like, for that piece of it, the 3D part, I think that that you have to have movies that set the stage for what gets better. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have almost like a chopping block, like, to be able to get the kinks out,
Yeah.
which sucks because it could have been a different movie. But I think that they might have, like, just this was the sacrificial lamb for that piece.
And they would have had an entirely different cast if they had done it at that time. A lot of different elements. would have
Anywho,
been
was there more to the?
Yes. So after they have renegotiated the contract, they say if Hercules is a success, then we get to do Treasure Island in space.
They were real serious about this. That's hilarious.
Yes. And Katzenberg, our favorite Disney executive, was the head of the animation at the time. And so he was like, okay, fine, we'll do your Treasure Island in space if Hercules does well. And Hercules did well, so they got the approval to begin production. So they started production on it.
What year was Herc?
Herc was 95, I believe,
Okay.
or 97, one of those two.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah. So they begin production. Everything's going good, and then
Hold on, before you continue though, Hercules was one of the first. I won't say the first, but that one had a little bit of 3D too,
yes,
with the heads on the.
it did on Actually, I think that was
Or was that added on after?
that was added on after, I believe.
Okay, never mind.
It might have been there at one point, but so they're in production on.
Sorry, I didn't mean
on
it.
Treasure Island in Space. They're writing, they're casting, they're doing all that good stuff. And then more movies are coming out. So I think Tarzan comes out, and what else? How come I can't think of the other movie that I wanted to think of? Great Mouse Detective. That came out way before. Never mind. So more movies are coming out, and Disney is starting to pull away from 2D animation. They're not hot on it. And this movie, because it's using a bunch of 3D animation, it's costing a lot. The budget on this movie is $140 million. One of the most expensive movies at the time. And so because it's costing so much, they're still making it. It's still gonna come out and everything like that. But they're making decisions that are against it at this point. Because I believe Katzenberg is either out or on his way out at the time, right before this is set to come out, and whoever's new is coming in just doesn't want to do this kind of animated film anymore. They want to move on to bigger, better things. All the Pixar movies are doing great, you know. So as that's happening, they're pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. So instead of coming out in the summer, it comes out at the end of November. It goes up against Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets
Oh, Jesus.
and the Santa Claus 2.
Oh, God.
You know? So
That's hilarious.
Yeah, you're right. They wanted this movie to fail.
yeah, they
Couldn't
market
they just
it.
push the release date?
Yeah, they market it by putting out the McDonald's toys at the end of summer, and then putting out those two confusing trailers, or the one confusing trailer,
Like, that's helpful.
and the other trailer
Say
that
4
spoils
months,
the whole
5 months
thing.
ahead of time.
Yeah, it's just they I think they spent like
So
$40
the
million
McDonald's
on
toys
marketing.
was part of the marketing?
Yeah,
Dang, so my comment was relevant.
yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
Heck irrelevant.
Let us into this conversation. Yeah, so that's basically the conspiracy. Is that Disney, because they were trying to phase out this kind of animation style, they
Mhm.
didn't push this movie as hard as they absolutely should have,
Yeah.
and it ended up totally tanking at the box office.
Nobody liked
So
it?
it didn't do well.
This movie did terribly. It had a $140 million budget. We're spoiling we're doing money now,
What
and it ended up making $109 million
Oh,
worldwide.
no.
That's its worldwide
Oh.
in America, it made $38 million
God.
dollars.
But what year did Atlantis come out?
Uh,
Like, if we compare this to Atlantis, did Atlantis also tank? I can't remember.
I
Was
don't-
Atlantis after this? This is what I need to know.
I
Because
don't
that
think
was
it did
2D
great.
style animation.
Yes, with some 3D elements
Yeah,
as well.
or maybe they did them around the same time. Like, I feel...
But think about it. It's not just because the box office did bad doesn't mean people didn't like it. It just means people didn't go see it.
Right.
or during the time it came out, where you're saying, like, it's up against these other
Because
movies.
it was
Atlantis
up
came out in 2001, and it made $186 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
So
I think Treasure Island or Treasure Planet was better than Atlantis.
I thought they were pretty similar.
Yeah.
I think the other
like them
story
both.
was obviously more.
Oh, the other story was good too, though.
the
I'd
other
watch it
story
again.
was better in that one, and there was less holes than this this one. But I think that they allowed the holes
Yeah.
because it's a known story.
Yeah,
which,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It's in some ways it's good for people who know the story, but it's bad for people
Well, that
who don't.
yeah, that also just goes to show, like, y'all probably should have pushed the date till like next spring or something.
Right, but they just weren't.
They were just over it.
Yeah, they were over it.
Well,
That's exactly
guess
it.
you lost a couple 40 mil.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you care to lose money then?
Right.
Like,
They already pushed it off since the 80s. Like, what was?
But that's the thing about trying to kill an entire department of your company is that
Yeah.
you have to have a pattern of failed things happening. So I think this movie came out, and then like Home on the Range came out.
Yeah,
and
that didn't
then
do
they
great
were
either.
like, "We're done with this." And
Okay,
then
well, if
they
you
didn't
think
do
about
another
it,
traditional 2D movie
Yeah.
until Princess and the Frog.
Home on the Range and Chicken Little came out around the same time. I
I
watched
don't
both
even
of
know
them.
what Home on the Range is. Is
It's
that a
on.
Disney
Cows.
movie?
It's
It's the
on my
cow movie.
mom's thing. You remember that animated thing I was telling you about? By the way, the animated thing, it had, what was his name? Gloop?
Gurgle.
Gurgy.
No.
The-
No. Morph.
Oh,
Sorry.
more.
Not Gurgy. Morph. I like Morph a lot. He's so cute. It's just hard because, like,
Do you remember this?
you really don't know what Home on the Range is? Yeah, Bust a Moo.
Andre just pulled up this Home on the Range poster, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I have literally never
Wow.
seen that.
You never seen Chicken Little either, though.
No, but I remember marketing for Chicken
Right.
Little. I just never watched
The
it. I'm
sky
so
is
sorry. I've
falling.
never
The
in my life
sky
seen
is
that.
falling.
Chicken Little is a 3D animated movie.
Yeah, but Chicken
And
Little
they-
didn't do that great either, but I love
they
Chicken Little.
marketed it more. Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
What
That's
he's
why
saying
she
is-
knows what it is versus why she
Bust
doesn't
a
know what
move.
this is.
They tried their best to make sure it failed so that they could make the case
This is one,
from a from a financial standpoint and a business standpoint that this isn't working, so we have to only do this.
Mm-hmm.
There was
That
like
We
makes
have
a
to change up our whole.
the early
game.
2000s had a lot of farm animal themes. It was Home on the Range, Chicken Little, Chicken Run. You know,
Was that
Chicken
Disney?
Run.
Chicken
Chicken
was
Run?
not
No,
Disney.
that was a good movie. I used
Was
to
that
watch
the one
all-
that's like claymated, not claymation,
Yeah.
but clay-ish?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I killing you with my food?
It's delicious.
Dude, I I scarfed it down.
Okay, good. I'm glad everyone's happy.
I also like green beans a lot. Anyways,
I'm only feeding them green beans. That's the only food they get here.
Just
so
green
yes,
beans.
these early 2000s movies, like, they just didn't do great for Disney in general. It was not a good time for Disney animation. But do I think
But
that
is it on purpose? Now I'm wondering.
Right.
Oh.
what, they just didn't care? They were like, let's lose some money? I don't think that. You know what I
Basically,
mean?
it's like.
But
it's-
if they want to only do 3D and they think that that's like the future, then they have to kill off.
Well, then they should have came up with some better storylines, I guess.
No, that's what he's
well,
saying.
that's the
is
thing
that
is that these animation takes a long time. So all of these things are already in production. They're already getting ready to go. So they're already their fate is set. But if some Disney executives can scheme around and make it so that these movies don't do well, then they can phase these out and bring in new movies.
Because
a Chicken
if-
Little, a
Because
Johnson
think about
Family.
like a business, like
Robinson,
a trending
whatever
chart.
that is.
Like they have to show on the chart that it's not going well, so that they can say, "Well, now we're going to take all that
I
money
mean,
from over
if
here
you
and
think
put it over
about it,
there."
it's true because, like, we had Disney Renaissance was started with The Little Mermaid and all of that. Then I call this the Disney flop era, where it was just like not good. And then you go into like New Age
House of
Disney was
Flops.
started with like Princess and the Frog.
Mhm.
Like Princess and the Frog, if you think about it, the animated movies that came out before Princess and the Frog were released, they were not great. It was like that flop period. And then Princess and the Frog came
good
out and
10-year period of
Tangled
bleh.
shortly after, where it was like, oh, okay, like we're going again. You know, like
yeah.
Right.
this is picking up again. I want to go to the movies and see these.
Mhm.
Because I remember that's why when I went to the movie theater and I saw Princess and the Frog, it blew my mind. Because, yeah, I was watching Chicken Little in the theater. It's not as good. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or things like this.
I bet if I look at the early 2000s Disney versus 2010s Disney on a graph, it's
Oh, yeah.
just like, whee!
But Emily's
Yeah, for sure.
completely right. It's like a whole decade
Yeah.
where it was like Disney flop. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's probably a name for it. I'm going to Google it right now.
The Disney flop period.
But to
Yeah.
me, this movie was not a flop.
A flop
I
era.
dug it.
I
It was a good
very much
movie
dug
that
it.
came out probably in the wrong time period. Like I said, what if this was Renaissance Disney? It could have been
Right.
really good.
Yeah.
Or it could have not, but it could have.
Yeah.
Same with Atlantis. Those are the two best from that decade, in my
Well,
opinion.
So so let's talk the reasons that we like this movie because I guess we could do like since we're not going to like do plot per se.
Mhm.
Actually, Andre, give us your problems. What are your issues?
Okay, well, I'm realizing it more now that it's more of a me thing than how the movie actually looks. But the way that the 2D animation interacts with the 3D animation, in my eyes, is creating like a very uncanny valley sort of look throughout a lot of this movie. So like when Ben shows up and
Who's
his
Ben? Yes,
Ben
yes,
is the
yes.
robot,
Yes.
and he's CGI.
For
He
sure.
is not hand drawn.
Yeah.
Versus Jim, who is completely hand drawn,
Right.
right? And then there's Long John Silver, who is hand drawn, but all his cyborg parts
Yeah.
are CGI. So when Ben is on screen with Jim
It
and they're
looks-
like interacting, it looks really weird to me, and
I
I
agree.
don't like the way that it looks.
It's funny because once that part of the movie started, like once you get onto Treasure Planet, it almost feels like and not in tone or storyline or anything, but just in the animation piece, it almost feels like a different movie.
Yeah.
Because they add in a lot more of that CGI.
Yes.
And I think it is because Ben is completely CGI. So I agree with you in that point, but that's kind of the hard thing is like, how would they have done that differently?
Right, exactly. And at the time, this is revolutionary stuff. Like, it looks really good at the time, I assume. But I think just the fact that, we have fully 3D animated movies now, and we've seen, like, 2D interact with, like, real life better than this handles it, I think. So the 2D interacting with the 3D, for me, it just like, throws it off. And, like, not only is it, like, characters like that, but it's also like backgrounds. They do a thing in this movie called deep canvassing, and it was developed for Tarzan. And when Tarzan is running around on the vines and he's swinging through, and the background looks a little bit 3D animated.
And I remember we talked about it when we watched Tarzan, that we said it was hard to focus.
Yes.
Well, Tarzan was 99, so that was like the end of that
Yes,
Disney
exactly. So
renaissance.
they developed that technology for that movie, and the way that it works is basically they 3D create a set, a model of like the vines and the trees and some other background stuff, and then they hand draw Tarzan in on top of it. And so he's sliding on 3D stuff, but he's 2D, and it looks honestly pretty good. I mean, it's not bad, but like we said, it's a little hard to focus. In this movie, they use it so much more than they did in Tarzan.
Especially at the end, like when they're trying to escape, and they have that door thing.
The entire ship is always in that deep canvas 3D look. It is modeled in 3D. It is never hand drawn. So anytime they're interacting with the ship in like a wide shot where you can see the ship, it's doing that. And their little 2D bodies are running along on top of it, and and it just looks weird to me. It doesn't feel good. It
doesn't. You should have seen him. He had a face and he touched his body. Like, it just doesn't feel good.
It looks good. I think this movie is beautiful, but it didn't feel right. In my
but it hit
my
me in
body.
the feels. This movie,
Sure, the storyline and the characters and the performances are all on point.
especially
It's just the
Jim
animation.
Hawkins and the cyborg.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to say this and you guys are going to hate me, but one of my main problems with Star Wars, I realize that's... Andre has a face. One of my main problems with Star Wars is that all of the characters that aren't... Okay, this is going to sound so mean, but 90% of the characters that are alien, that are like quote-unquote made up, are very creepy. Oh, not creepy. They're very...
Cartoony?
Humanoid.
I'm okay, they're ugly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't like the way
Greedo's
they look.
ugly. Yeah, he is.
I don't like the way they look.
Salacious Crumb, Jabba the Hutt,
Salacious
No,
Crumb.
but even the things that are supposed to be cute are not cute to me.
You don't like porgs?
Ewoks.
No. Ew.
Is it Ewok?
So my point is that in this movie you see very similarly all kinds of different creatures.
Oh yeah, they all creepy.
like they all have different
except
things.
for Morph.
But they didn't. I don't know. I guess they were interesting.
Oh
to
no,
me.
they creeped me out. That one
Oh no,
dude.
they were creepy. Like, don't get me
Right.
wrong, but they were more interesting than, for example, Star Wars characters, where
Okay.
I'm like,
okay,
eh.
fair enough.
I can completely agree with that. That's.
Well, that's because they were making it more fun.
I really liked all of the alien dudes.
That thing was
were on the
gross.
ship.
That looked like it was a whole thing, and then
And it was
took
a
its
head.
off.
Yes.
He's the
Two-
most interesting one.
For sure.
Just-
Head,
disgusting.
legs, and then body face. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
for sure.
Those two dudes are really cool. I like them both.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also googly eyes, like the dude that just has a million
Oh,
eyes
it's
underneath his pirate's hat. That's funny. I like that a lot.
No,
Yeah.
see, I am the opposite. All of these ones creeped me out. They were all disgusting.
But okay, so they were creepy, and like the thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
the
Scroop.
Scroop-
Scroop is the only truly creepy
Oh my
one
god,
to me.
he made me have nightmares for sure. But because he was kind of praying mantisy, he reminded me of the
Yeah.
way they did Mantis in I don't know if his name was Mantis, but he was a praying mantis in Bug's Life.
Oh
He
yeah,
reminded me of, like, the way he moved was very similar.
like magician dude.
Yeah, the magician,
Yeah.
old, like,
Theater actor.
oh, thank you, that guy. Anywho, but my point is that I think I liked these characters much more than in other space-like movies because they were all very different, and you could tell that they were all from a different planet, but it wasn't. But then again, it's animated, and you can do so much more with an animated movie than you
Exactly.
can with humanoid characters.
That's exactly what I
on
was going to say.
screen.
Is that I think with Star Wars specifically, which was born in the 70s and it used the Henson Company to help them create their
They're
creatures
going to
and
be
stuff like that.
Muppety.
They're all going to be Muppety. And even moving forward, even in the Star Wars movies we have now, just to look like a similar style as the ones from the 70s, they're still Muppety.
Yeah.
So Porgs,
Yeah.
cute as they are still definitely Muppety.
They are not
characters.
cute. Little orange thing.
Yeah, the little
no.
orange bird.
No.
Bird dudes.
No.
Mhm.
But okay, that and okay. See, I just had to talk through it. I feel
Yeah.
better about that now.
Yeah, no, that I agree. The aliens in this are cool.
But they just did like a really good job. And for Silver specifically, his cyborgness is very cool. So
Oh yeah, it's super cool.
So we know that
Yeah.
cyborgs have usually an arm of some. I feel like it's always like
It's always an arm and an eye or
I
something.
mean,
most
yeah,
of
it
the time.
depends. It depends on the cyborg. Long John Silver, in particular, reminds me of Mad Eye Moody from Harry Potter.
sure.
And
Well,
I guess Mad Eye
Yeah.
Moody reminds me of Long John Silver.
Well, and if you think about it, though, it's all done very well. His eye would be the eye patch.
Yes,
He would be missing the eye
He's
like
missing
a
an eye.
pirate.
Mhm.
Okay, he's missing. I think in the original Long John Silver, he's missing a leg.
Yes,
Not original.
because he has like a limp.
Yeah. So he's missing the leg. So he has like a peg leg or whatever. And then, like, to be even more cyborgy, his whole arm. Like, it's
The
just
whole
very, very well done. They
You
did
know
a
what?
cool job.
That animation actually didn't bother me with Long John Silver's CGI arms and legs. I thought it was super cool the entire time I was watching. I didn't even think about it.
Well,
being
it sounds
uncanny.
like it was
It
more
didn't
the
bother me.
landscapes that bother you than it is
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
the
think
things
so.
that take up more of the screen than just like the extra like pieces.
right.
Maybe it's just easier to integrate it when it's like a half and half character thing versus like a whole ship or a whole character
Yeah.
like Ben.
Actually, I think to showcase the technology at the time before they were doing the animation for this movie, they showcased the animation of a cyborg arm by using Captain Hook. They gave Captain Hook a cyborg like hand or something like that. I wonder if that's on the DVD.
Oh my God, that would be
might have to
fantastic.
look that up.
Can you imagine
Huh.
cyborg Captain Hook?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, did the people at least like this movie? Because I did.
Yes. So this
The people.
the people.
Let the people speak.
Yeah. So this movie, when it came out, it was critically acclaimed. It was nominated for Best Animated Feature
Yeah,
that
of
year.
course it was, even though it didn't make money.
It
Because
lost.
it's Disney.
It lost to Spirited Away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
you know,
no
so
idea what
That's
that
the one
is.
with the horses,
It's a
right?
Miyazaki movie. Oh wait,
Is that the one with the horses?
actually, hang on. Now I need to figure it out because
Oh,
I think,
no,
I think
that's
the one with the horses
Spirit.
is Spirit. Yeah, Spirited Away is the anime style movie by Hayao Miyazaki.
I was thinking about the horse one too.
Yeah, that's a
Same
spirit.
guy who did like Kiki's Delivery Service
Oh.
and Totoro. My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah, see,
That
I don't
guy.
know much about anime, but
Yeah, those movies are really good. They're
I know you want me to watch them. But
yes, they're compared to
Is that the gray thing?
the gray thing.
The
Yeah.
thing?
Yes,
Yeah,
like
Totoro.
the bunny bear thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so those movies are basically like the Disney movies of anime.
Okay.
That's how good they are.
Okay.
All right.
So, you know,
Well,
but
I mean, I
people
watched
still liked
Avatar,
it.
I might as well just get there.
What's its Rotten Tomato thing?
Its score on the tomato meter.
The tomato meter.
I know I pulled it
Oh,
up.
well, and I was going to say this while you were talking about it, that almost every review that I read started out with, like, stunning visuals.
Mhm,
Like,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
great storytelling. Like, it seems like
underrated.
people liked it.
Like I said, I will be showing my children this movie because
for
I
sure.
need to watch it again. It was delightful.
Absolutely. This movie on Rotten Tomatoes has a 69%,
Okay.
Hmm.
still fresh, and an audience score of 71%. So it seems low, but I mean, it's not as terrible as
I also-
$38 million at the box office.
No, but I also think it's
No.
one of those movies like you would have to convince people to watch because I mean, if
For
you're thinking
sure.
about people who are going to watch Disney movies, they're going to watch Disney Renaissance movies. They're not going to pull out Treasure Planet and watch it at home. Like it's just not a thing, and that's
They
why you
probably
always
don't own it. Let's
no,
be real.
Right.
Did they
and
even
that's
have
why
this
you
on
always have
DVD?
people say like, oh, there's these underrated Disney movies like Treasure Planet and Atlantis where they're good.
Yeah, they absolutely are good, and there's
They just
when they came out,
came
it just
out at a wrong
wasn't
time.
the time.
Yeah.
Mhm, absolutely. Yeah, this movie did come out on VHS and DVD. That was back in those days. And then there was a 10-year anniversary release as well. in,
I
like,
mean, I think the
2012.
only reason I watched
Blu-ray.
all of these movies is because my parents only like own Disney movies. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like I watched every single Disney movie as it came out. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you lived in a Disney
hashtag
household.
blessed. Yeah,
All right, you want to score it?
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, since we did money.
I'm gonna give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I definitely want to watch it again. Comparable to other Disney movies? Of course not. But for the era that it came out in, it's like up there. It's like the best one of that early 2000s era. 8 out of 10.
Yeah. I concur, and I am also going to give it an 8. I think this movie's really fun. Like, it has a simple enough story that you know if you know Treasure Island. But it also I really like the relationships in it. Like between Jim and Long John Silver, the at first he's like, I don't trust you, and then he's like, but like, can you be my dad? And then it's like,
so cute.
I'm your new dad boy. And then it's like, betrayal. You're a bad guy. And then
Well,
It's like a straight up Yondu,
Yeah.
like with
Yes.
Star-Lord.
Oh, dude, it's
Yondu.
Yondu.
I love
I'm Mary
Yondu.
Poppins, y'all.
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yes,
The best.
exactly. Yeah,
I agree with you.
When Jim's letting Long John go at the end of the movie, I was like, I let him go.
I was like, hey, Jack Sparrow,
Yeah.
let him go.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know how,
For
what's his
sure.
face? What's his name?
Who?
The pirate.
Barbosa?
No.
I'm not gonna name
The
all
hot
the
one.
pirates.
What's his? Legolas.
Orlando Bloom.
Orlando Bloom. Who does he?
I don't remember his
Will
character.
Turner?
Will Turner. Let Jack Sparrow go. Jeez, that took me forever.
Yeah.
The hot one.
Like
Daddy
this.
Turner.
Ugh.
That one
Ugh.
pirate. Ew, don't. Ew.
No.
You're the one who said Daddy Mufasa.
Ew, that's allowed.
No. It's
He's a
not
daddy.
allowed.
He's a dad.
It's an
Disney
animated
dads.
animal.
Wait,
Weird.
so does this mean that Long John Silver's now a Disney dad?
That is not up to me at all. That is entirely
Hilarious.
up to you.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Emily. Emily.
Matey.
Matey.
I concur. 8 out of 10. Just a couple other reasons. The score was beautiful.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
very much enjoyed listening to the music in the background.
James Newton Howard.
Yeah, right.
Thanks,
I
Ron Howard.
loved the spaceport planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How
that
it was
like
a
crescent moon.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But then it like turned and you got closer and it was an actual planet. I thought that was beautiful and a very smart way to do that. And I really liked, which it's funny because Luis was like this character, right? Of course it's the character.
The
Luis was
robot?
annoyed. No, well, yeah, he couldn't stand him. But the guy, the guy who financed the voyage,
Oh, the rock dude? Dude looks like a rock?
Mr.
the
Aaron?
dog,
Dr. Doppler.
Dr.
Oh.
Doppler.
Yes. He was very funny. And I liked his little romance with Captain Amelia.
Yeah, they
Yes.
were cute, and they
That
had their
was
little
cool.
doggy babies at the end.
Yes,
Mhm,
I
yeah.
liked Dr. Doppler.
Getting busy.
I agree.
He said one line in this movie that I had to rewind and listen to again because I laughed so hard. He said something about like the captain had gotten hurt and she was like on her last dying breath, and he said something like Jim was like, aren't you a doctor? And he's like, I have my doctorate. I'm not a doctor. I can't do anything with this doctorate.
Yeah.
And I started laughing so
He
hard.
goes, dang it, Jim. I'm an astronomer, not a doctor. Which is straight out of Star Trek.
Just so good. Just so good.
Oh, the doctor in Star Trek who says that is Dr. Bones. Billy
Billy
Bones.
Billy
Bones.
Yeah.
All right, so I have an interesting. You know how we're talking about how these early 2000s Disney movies weren't that good? You know why they weren't that great?
Why?
Because there was a different platform that was having the greatness. Shall I name a few?
Quickly.
We have
Yeah, what are you talking about?
a different platform was hitting it hard, and it wasn't these Disney animated movies. It was a different Disney platform. We got Under Wraps. We got The 13th Year. Smart House.
So you're talking about
Johnny Tsunami.
Disney Channel
Don't look under the bed.
original movie.
Alley Cat
Decoms.
Strike. Quince. We got Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. So, you know, they were just investing all their money in that instead.
Yes.
Disney Channel original movies. So, with that said, guess what we're going to start doing in the next month as Disney Plus hits your TV screens?
We gotta do DComs, y'all.
DComs,
Yes,
y'all.
it's time for some Disney Channel original movies here on The Wall Vault. Previous to this, we've only done High School Musical, right?
No,
do
we
that?
did not.
Well, no,
Oh.
I just made you
And
watch
we
them
will
That's
all.
not
right.
be.
I was forced
We
to
did
watch them.
Descendants
We did The Descendants.
and Halloween Town.
And Halloween Town.
And I think that's about
I
it.
think that's it.
And we will not be doing High School Musical.
Yeah.
Also, we
We
probably
are not all in this together.
I made Andre watch them all, though.
I've
That's
never seen
right.
it, but I know the song.
However, yes, with with Disney Plus, which is out by the time this episode is released. It actually came out the day this episode is released.
Wait,
Oh.
no, I think
Are
it
you
comes
guys
out-
enjoying
I think-
yourselves?
I think
don't
it comes
know.
out tomorrow. Hang on. When does it come
Comes
out?
out.
Yes, it comes out tomorrow. The day this episode is released.
It comes out on the Tuesday.
Yes.
On a Tuesday.
This comes out
Comes
on
out on
Monday.
Why did it do it on a Tuesday?
Because they silly.
They
Go
might
ahead.
as well have done it on a Monday anyways. Let us know if you have the platform because we're doing the DComs.
And if not, you can just reminisce on the fun that
We'll tell you.
was.
Yeah, I'll narrate for you with my microphone the whole story.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
Yeah, we're not sure which one we're going to do first. We will decide that at a later time once we all
But it's going to be good.
actually have Disney Plus.
Up, up, and away. Come on. Whoa! Andre just got so
You
excited.
think I didn't absolutely love with all my heart the movie about the black family with superpowers? That movie was my jam. Up, and
Sign
away.
us off. I'm so done.
Okay.
I'm sick and tired.
He
and
literally
tired
went,
and sick.
"Ooh."
Thank you so much for listening to the Walt Vault. We are on
Jump, the house is
social
jumping.
media. We are at the Walt Vault Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are on podcast services everywhere. We're on Anchor and Apple Podcasts and YouTube and Google Play Music and Spotify, all those places. Go to one of those places, hit subscribe, leave a rating, leave a review. Those things are all important to the reach of our show. And if you want to help us out, you can go to patreon.com/thewaltvault, sign up to be a patron, and get extra content. We got more podcasts. We got some gameplay videos of Kingdom Hearts 3. We got some notes about each movie. And if you sign up at the $5 more level, we'll send you a gift in the mail. It's fun. Send me an email to contact@thewaltvaultpod.com. And,
Nubbins.
nuggets. Oh, I almost forgot. We had a YouTube comment on our last episode, and I wanted to read it because it was a correction. I was wrong about something.
You?
Yeah,
Wrong?
I know.
What?
Unheard of.
What?
So,
Oh, was it about the Black Cauldron? Because we don't care about
it was
that.
about the Black Cauldron. When I was saying that that movie inspired the person who made The Legend of Zelda to make The Legend of Zelda in that kind of style,
Uh-huh.
I had said that it was Hayao Miyazaki, but what I meant was that it was Shigeru Miyamoto.
Is that what you meant?
Yes.
Oh.
Shigeru Miyamoto is the creator of The Legend of Zelda. Hayao Miyazaki is the creator of like Spirited Away and My Neighbor Totoro and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
okay.
I just wanted to give a shout out to Mario 500 now. Thank you for commenting last time. And that's about it.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks. All right, that's it, you guys. This has been fun, but the vault is now closed.